The sudden death minors semi-final at Hindmarsh Stadium. Roger Wills is your commentator.
Adelaide City have made one change, the side beaten by South Melbourne in last week's preliminary semi-final. Ernie Tapai is suspended, but fortunately for City, they have an experienced replacement in Joe Mullen. Mullen, who returns after a 3-month layoff due to a knee injury, has played 215 NSL games. Youngsters Joe Barbaro and Michael Brooks once again are on the bench for the home side. Marconi have made no change to the starting 11, the down Parramatta Melta in the elimination semi-final, but they have brought back Peter Catholis onto the bench in place of captain Steve Calderon. The skipper's role is taken by Ian Gray, whose combination with Tom McCulloch in midfield will be a vital factor. Youth international Steve Corica joins Catholis on the bench. The referee is the 39-year-old New South Welshman, Gary Power. Adelaide City start the semi-final. They go to the left. In fact, they're kicking to the right of your screen against a fairly strong breeze in the first half. Perfect conditions at Hindmarsh. And Robert Zabica, an early touch. See how he goes into the strong breeze for Maxwell. In fact, it comes off Mullen. So Mullen's first touch. Just a fairly wild kick from Joe Mullen, but he would be delighted to be back in the senior lineup. And Catlin into the action. Electing not to use the long kick from the goalkeeper. McCulloch from Markovski. Away from the tackle from Csoboth. John Markovski, plenty of room. Searching for Marigny outside the penalty area. Zabica with that height advantage. And that would be pleasing for the Australian goalkeeper. Good grab early on. Marigny floating it. Mentioned this awkward breeze coming down the ground for Zabica. Jones to Wheatley. Chipping, looking for Lowe. Chesting for Jones. Good build-up by Marconi. But it's coming off the body of the Adelaide City player, so the first corner in the semi-final. Slow, deliberate, decisive build-up by Marconi. First corner kick after 8 minutes to be taken by David Lowe. Markovski at the back, but it came off the head of Ivanovic. Tony Vidmar trying to get away from Okon, who does superbly, flicking it back to Markovski. Coming off Mullen, and a handball going against Joe Mullen. Just a reflex action by Joe Mullen. Mullen back into the penalty areas. Markovski's cross is knocked down by Joe Mullen. Jean-Paul de Marigny, 191 NSL games, so plenty of experience. Low ball in the penalty area, Seal wheeling round. Want to put it back to Gray. Ricochet still in the penalty area. Gray got a fairly strong go at it, but just closed off by the Adelaide City defenders. So ball jumping around in the penalty area. And Gray getting a second opportunity, but well wide. Comes up with Maxwell. Melta looks around. Back to Vidmar. Maxwell just offside. Flag going up by the linesman John Seymour Griffin. Crowd didn't like it, but it certainly looked to be there. Very close one, but Maxwell almost away. Jones for Marconi. Tobin's height. Always been a worry for us, David Seal here at Hindmarsh Stadium. Bertie Mariani. Okon's throw. Got it back from Mullen. An attempt coming from Markovski. That was a dangerous flick over the back by Mullen, and Markovski exploding into action. Just noticed the ball coming over the back from Mullen. He was intending to clear it to Melta. Loose ball, and have a look at Markovski's power on the turn. Comes up Shillabeer on the right. He gives it to McCulloch. McCulloch pursued by Veart. For Melta, deliberate leave for Aurelio Vidmar. Marconi defenders rush back. Sergio Melta's Csoboth, and ricocheting, could be a goal still. Appealing for a penalty. No penalty awarded. Looking for the handball. The supporters certainly thought it was there. Now Aurelio Vidmar looking for Melta. Melta just touching it on for Csoboth. It came off the boot of Catlin, and the shot doesn't quite tell you. As Robert Csoboth is disappointed. A lovely break through the midfield with Melta and Aurelio Vidmar. Catlin's boot sliding out, saving the day. And off the head will find David Seal. Ivanovic will have to close the gap. Waiting on the player coming down. Aurelio Vidmar puts it very high. And the corner earned by Marconi. Good defence in the end by Adelaide City, but David Seal was released on the left. And Georgakis' long ball. Seal read it, came off the head of Shillabeer. Ivanovic had to come across, and Seal was trying to place it in front of his teammate coming down the ground. That being McCulloch, and just lobbing on top of the net. Corner kick for Marconi. Ahead of Tobin. Further away by Tony Vidmar. Marconi, Captain Gray. Searching for Markovski. The defence by Adelaide City. The combination there of the headers. Clearing it out of the penalty area. Back heel meant for Aurelio Vidmar. Cut out by Markovski. Aurelio Vidmar comes again. So does McCulloch. Beautiful play by Markovski. A major chance here for Marconi. The ball going across on the right to Okon. Okon it for Zabica. He was looking for Lowe. Ended up fairly comfortable for Zabica, but a bit of a worry there. A couple of signs with Marconi getting free quite easily on left and right. Jones looking for Markovski. And off the body of Shillabeer. Markovski will have another opportunity. Quick ball into the penalty area, off the head of Seal. So David Seal's first real opportunity coming after 35 minutes. Quick movement back, and David Seal getting the opportunity to place the header. Aurelio Vidmar. Ivanovic a long way up from defence. Another help out. Picks out Veart. He's crashed to the ground. And the free kick will go to Adelaide City. Now that happening just outside the penalty area, so it's no penalty kick. Very close to the penalty area. So Carl Veart to the ground by Mark Jones. As Gary Power has strong words to Jean-Paul de Marigny, and a yellow card is coming out as Adelaide City tried to take the free kick. So obviously Jean-Paul de Marigny, the referee Gary Power, what he thought of the free kick. Free kick to Adelaide City just outside the penalty area. Ivanovic was there with his height, but Catlin timed it to perfection. Just a little chip from Tony Vidmar, searching for the height of Ivanovic. Not quite, but Catlin certainly. Mullen's head, but signs Markovski. Front position for Shillabeer. Aurelio Vidmar, hustled by McCulloch. Back to McCulloch from Seal. David Seal, danger here. Adelaide City, brilliant goalkeeping by Robert Zabica. But a fine shot by David Seal, bringing the best out of the Australian goalkeeper. McCulloch did superbly here. A couple of interchange passes with David Seal. And Zabica having to tip it over the crossbar. David Seal given a bit of room. And Zabica skywards. Close to half-time. Mullen, a bit of room. Clearance to Marigny. The corner going to Adelaide City. A minute into stoppage time. This ball coming across, and Joe Mullen getting a little bit of room here to place it. He's waiting on Veart to get into the front position. The corner comes in. Clearance for Marconi. They move into action. Plenty of room on the left. Bray through midfield. McCulloch back towards Lowe. Just about searching for McCulloch. McCulloch just over the crossbar. He was marked by Ivanovic, but wonderful movement by Marconi, crisscrossing the field, trying to confuse the defence. Half-time is signalled before the corner can be taken. So a couple of minutes of stoppage time in the first half of the minor semi-final. And a very intriguing, fascinating first half. A fairly even one, but at half-time in the minor semi-final, it's Adelaide City 0, Marconi 0. Marconi begins the second half. No changes to both sides. So no score with Marconi the first chance to go forward. The Adelaide City back with the opponent's half. Veart wrestling with De Marigny. Veart earning a corner within 20 seconds of the start of the second half.
Visit the Australia versus England match. So hang on to your ticket number, which is on your front cover of your match program.
So Barbaro, second from right, still on the bench with Michael Brooks. Corner to Adelaide City. Chance for Veart, leaves it. Cleared away by Robbie Wheatley. Head back from Tony Vidmar. Comes Wheatley again. Head from Mullen. Clearance from De Marigny in another corner. This time on the left-hand side. De Marigny saying, what else could I do? We had to get it away. And over the back it goes. Tony Vidmar's shot. Clearance by Wheatley. Second corner in the first minute. Veart's head. Over the crossbar, and most of the Adelaide City supporters have come down to that end of the ground. And Veart running up behind Paul Shillabeer. Not quite being able to get up high enough to place it down. McCulloch. Sliding tackle by Ivanovic. Csoboth to Aurelio Vidmar. Markovski chases. Veart on the right, he's onside. Maxwell and Mullen stream into the penalty area. Taken easily by Robbie Wheatley. That was a definite opportunity for Adelaide City on the break. Markovski. Long ball from Zabica. Veart placing it. But Mullen had joined Maxwell in the midfield. Two had gone straight through, one rather than one going to the left as anticipated by Veart. Lowe's the target. He's up with Aurelio Vidmar. Effort by Okon. Chance for Marconi. Surrounded by Adelaide City players. Aurelio Vidmar back. Bumped off the ball by Gray. Markovski on the left. Markovski with that strong left foot. Taken by Zabica. Just. A couple of players sweating on him. David Seal was one of them. Mullen through the legs of the opponent. Only finds McCulloch. Okon's turn for Marconi. So Mullen takes him down. Now Melta was closing the gap. So often Marconi takes the very quick free kick. And the wily Melta getting in the way. McCulloch to Okon. As the bench players warm up. The cross from Okon just tipped over the bar. A clever ball by Okon. It looked almost to be nothing. But curving around, holding up against the breeze, and Zabica just picking it over the crossbar. He touches the crossbar, the height of Zabica to advantage. Corner to Marconi. Knocked away by Aurelio Vidmar. Shot coming in from Okon. Reefed up in the air by Tobin. Off Mullen's head from Maxwell. Knocked back by Marigny to Lowe. Clever ball for Marigny on the edge of the penalty area. Inside it now. Laying it off for Markovski. And a blazing shot from John Markovski. He's got an amazing power on that left leg. Still no score. It's laid back for Markovski. Well wide. But he's still got this enormous power. Lovely ball for Shillabeer. Shillabeer quickly taken. Maxwell's free, but Jones recovers well. Has to concede the corner. But Maxwell having back position, the ball curling around with the breeze. Lovely ball came to Shillabeer, then he placed it back towards Maxwell, and Jones did well to extricate his side from that situation. I want to take him short to Aurelio Vidmar. Might go back to Melta. In the midfield, deliberately left by Tony Vidmar. Csoboth gets a bit of room, balks one player, and Catlin almost having to give away a goal. Fine play by Bob Catlin, also by Robert Csoboth. Robert Csoboth setting himself up, and Bob Catlin just tipping it away. So good deliberate shot by Csoboth. He's only scored one goal this season. Corner in, attempt by Paul Shillabeer. Almost out of the ground. It's still Adelaide City's turn to apply a bit of pressure on Marconi. Veart pursuing Marigny. Taken by Csoboth. Back to Veart. The switch for Mullen. Mullen goes down. Couldn't get a proper shot in. Marked by Georgakis. But a half mistake there by Marconi has ended up with Veart, and Mullen just going down. Just over 5 minutes to go until full time. Still no score. Georgakis for Markovski. Deliberately left it for Catholis. Weight of Shillabeer. Aurelio Vidmar for Mullen. Ivanovic pursued by Seal. Ball will be Marconi's. Shillabeer. Hustled by Seal. Seal lays it off for Catholis. Peter Catholis hits the post. Shillabeer clearance just. Markovski again for Marconi. Shillabeer getting the support of Aurelio Vidmar. Catholis trying to get in the way. Chance for Adelaide City. Marconi through Jones. Wheatley for Catholis, who's been ever present since coming on from the bench. And Peter Catholis hitting the near post. Veart. Veart, persistent, earns the throw for Adelaide City. We've gone into stoppage time. No score into stoppage time. Shillabeer for Melta. Away by Gray, and he runs through midfield as Markovski has a chance. Back to the Marconi captain, Gray. Marconi players running left and right at the moment. David Lowe close to the penalty area. Calls for his players to come to him. It's knocked down by McCulloch, but he's offside. They were about to go into extra time in the minor semi-final. Back goes Mullen. Melta trying to get front position over McCulloch. Sergio Melta back towards Mullen. Maxwell the opportunity. Maxwell another opportunity. Ball from Mullen over towards Veart. Offside has been ruled. That sums up the situation. Wouldn't it have been nice in stoppage time? Carl Veart's had a tremendous second half. He's worked his heart out. He really is a danger player for Marconi. Referee has had a glance at his watch, so we're not far away from the final whistle. Csoboth for Aurelio Vidmar. Ivanovic for Tony Vidmar. Can he get one more cross in before the final whistle? Closed off by a couple of defenders. Over the back is Veart. Veart for Mullen. That's the winning goal. The winning goal to Adelaide City. And don't they love it at Hindmarsh Stadium? Pandemonium breaks out. We're 2 minutes into stoppage time. And Joe Mullen, back in the side this week, has clinched the semi-final for Adelaide City. What a situation. Tony Vidmar chipping. It went over to the far side, back from Veart, and Joe Mullen places it where he likes. A brilliant cross from Tony Vidmar. Carl Veart deserved this effort because he's been outstanding in the second half, and Joe Mullen does the rest in the 91st minute. And it's all over. It's all over, so Adelaide City have won within 30 seconds of the final whistle. A standing ovation, a sensational finish at Hindmarsh Stadium. Adelaide City are absolutely jubilant, but showing marvellous respect for Marconi, and why wouldn't they? Because it's been a semi-final of respect shown for the opponents. The probing, the tactics have been fascinating, and how often do things happen in stoppage time? They've happened for Adelaide City. They survived. They're still in the championship race for 1990-91. And the winning goal coming from Joe Mullen in the 91st minute as the Adelaide City supporters give their players a wonderful reception as they leave Hindmarsh Stadium. But let's not forget the gallant efforts of Marconi to stay in this semi-final. The final score in Hindmarsh Stadium in the minor semi-final with Joe Mullen scoring in the 91st minute. Adelaide City 1, Marconi